Joaquin Phoenix is playing Jesus in an upcoming film, but he refused to do one thing. Coming up on Nothing to Say.
This one tickles me right in the ticklers.
Oh my gosh. It is pretty silly.
This is funny. Because it's always fascinating to me when Hollywood tries to have the moral authority over the Bible, or it's someone that has no idea what the Bible is about really, but they try to have they maybe read a few snippets for a part in a movie, and now they're the like Bible scholar, and they have all to say, and it's pretty fascinating. So this article from Fox News says Joaquin Phoenix is playing Jesus in a new film, but refused to do one thing. Let's see what that one thing is. Because it's funny. So the article starts with Joaquin Phoenix is playing Jesus in the upcoming film Mary Magdalene, but he refused to perform one of the miracles recorded in the Gospels. So Mary Magdalene is a movie that we saw a trailer for like a year ago now? Quite a while ago.
Yeah, and to me it looked really interesting. Like, I want to see it. I'm interested in it.
Yeah, and then I feel like it just kind of disappeared, and then we didn't really hear anything about it.
Exactly.
But Joaquin Phoenix.
He's an excellent actor.
Fantastic actor. I think he's one of the best, if not the best actor in the industry right now, under Mel Gibson.
That's his favorite.
Mel Gibson is my all-time favorite actor. He could be in every single movie ever made, and I would watch it.
Yeah.
And then Joaquin Phoenix is like a second. So it has nothing to do with Joaquin Phoenix's talent. I think he's a brilliant actor.
Yeah.
But this is just kind of absurd. And this says, an early scene in the movie required the 44-year-old actor who recently played Joker to perform a miracle from John's Gospel in which Jesus healed a blind man by rubbing mud in his eyes. The article says that in the movie, they switched it to a blind woman. And later on in the article, it says that they wanted to give more of a feminine approach to the movie. So I guess they wanted to give more of a woman's role in the movie. Yeah. Even though the main character of the movie is Mary Magdalene, who is a woman. I mean, it was a blind man that he healed, and that's what it talks about in the Bible. Okay?
Yeah.
Like, when you start having to change stuff, you're just hurting your own argument of,
I know.
like why, just let it go. I mean, it is what it is, right?
Well, and it's just funny to me because they could have used so many other instances in the Bible if they wanted to make this more about, like, the women with Jesus in the Bible. Like, you have the woman at the well, the woman caught in adultery, the woman that was healed from bleeding, Mary Magdalene. Like, there's so many different instances where Jesus, one, talked with women, two, healed them, was friends with women. He had women disciples, and that was in a culture when women were looked down upon, and they were a lesser class. Like, even to talk to women was, like, kind of like, why are you talking? Even Jesus' own disciples were like, why are you talking to that woman?
His own disciples would ask Jesus, what are you talking to her for?
Yeah.
It's like, what?
Exactly. So Jesus, obviously in the Bible, we know that men and women are created in the image of God. So we are equal in value. And Jesus showed that and went against the culture of that time and uplifted women and viewed them as friends and as equals.
And Jesus did plenty of miracles, okay?
Yes.
So if they wanted to have him heal a blind woman, which I'm sure probably happened at some time, right?
Yeah.
I mean, it could have, it could not have, it could have been healing women of other things, but maybe there was a blind woman at some point that he healed, and they could have just, I guess, thrown that in there instead of having to switch a man to a woman in order for it to just be more feminine. Yeah. So I don't know. Plus the Bible talks about in John 21:25, it says, Jesus also did many other things. If they were all written down, I suppose the whole world would not contain the books that would be written. So it's talking about miracles. Jesus did so many miracles that the world would not be able to contain everything.
Which is crazy to think about. That's how many miracles.
So he did plenty of miracles, Okay, but I digress.
Yeah. Well, I want to say, kind of what I was saying, but I feel like it belittles the character of Jesus and Scripture having to change something to make it seem like Jesus is more like pro-woman when he already is.
I know. Yeah.
That's what my point is.
No, that's a good point. It's a fascinating point, but because it's the truth, it will go in one ear and out the other for most people.
Exactly.
Which is sad. But it goes on to say that, so back to the point of this article of what Joaquin Phoenix would not do, the one thing he wouldn't do, he says, I knew about that scene of healing the blind man from the Bible, but I guess I had never really considered it. Phoenix told CNN, when I got there, I thought, I'm not going to rub dirt in her eyes. Who the blank would do that? It doesn't make any sense. That is a horrible introduction to seeing. Okay, now suddenly there's like standards on miracles?
Yes.
If Jesus walked up to me and put mud on my face.
Yeah.
And then I could see again after being blind my entire life.
Yeah.
I would be asking him, hey, my back's kind of, can you put some mud over here? I would be rolling in the mud. I would be rolling in a pigsty if that's what it took to get better.
Yes.
Like Jesus performed a miracle. He literally gave sight to a human being that was blind for his entire life.
Exactly.
And the whole thing that sticks out here, why would he put mud on her face? On his face. They got me.
Yeah.
I said her. They got me. I'm indoctrinated. But it's... So, I want to add this in there, though. Phoenix went on to say, he took matters into his own hands by simply licking his thumb and rubbing the woman's eyes. No mud, but he argues it doesn't take away from the miracle Jesus performed. Okay, so mud is like gross or something.
Yeah.
Mud's weird,
yeah.
right? So
dirt
I'm
and
not gonna put dirt and water on your face in order to heal you of blindness.
Yeah.
But instead and then like seriously, like why is that any? That's grosser to me if you think about it.
That is.
But at the same time,
funny,
if Jesus spit on his hands and made me see, I would be completely okay with that. I'm getting a little worked up about this one just because it's a little silly. It's just silly to me.
It is. Okay. And it's just funny. I mean, okay, is it weird that Jesus put mud on somebody's eyes to heal them?
I mean, I'll give you let's give him the benefit of the doubt and say, it's a little...
Yeah, because when I read that, I'm like, I wonder why Jesus chose to do it that way.
Yeah, it makes you question, like, Jesus picked up mud, made mud, and put it over the man's eyes.
Yeah.
And then the guy, wiped the mud away and he could see. Like, why he did it like that, I guess.
Exactly.
If you want to get super, analytical, you can go, that is interesting.
Yeah.
I guess if you want to say weird.
But Jesus did a lot of weird things because he was completely going against the culture again. He was going against the Pharisees and showing people that things are about the heart of the matter, not like the physical act, if that makes...
Well, and at that point, though, you have to remember is that this could have meant something so much more profound.
Exactly.
That we don't have any idea. Yeah. People watching, bystanders, the man that was healed, maybe there was something with mud and the man that was healed that instilled something, far greater and, getting his sight back. It was like Jesus healed me, and maybe the mud symbolized something to that man or, to the people watching or something. Yeah. And so for the culture, it made sense.
Yeah,
right?
Exactly.
I mean, that could absolutely be the case. Mm-hmm. Or it could be the case that Jesus went, I'm going to use mud for this miracle.
Yeah.
And that's that.
Just because I can use anything.
Because I can use anything because I'm Jesus.
Yeah, it's like we can question anything Jesus has done or how he's done it. But the point is that he healed a blind man. He healed so many people. He performed these miracles. Want to know why? Because he is God.
Yeah.
So.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So, anyways, the article goes on. It says, the film set for release on Good Friday looks at the story of Jesus from a more feminine perspective. As many biblical scholars have labeled Mary Magdalene as the first feminist.
Interesting.
First of all, who are these biblical scholars? I want, Okay, sure. Just, okay. Absolutely.
I hate when we put, like, modern day, like, labels of things. Like,
well, especially when the new go-to saying for everything is, it's 2019. Get with the times.
Yeah.
You know, like when everything's coming up, if you have a traditional view on anything, what's the first response you'll typically get? It's 2019.
Yeah.
It's the 21st century. Like,
yeah.
Like that's the first response you get. But yet we want to put all of our 21st century, on everything in the past, on history, so that it's not so hurty-feely. It doesn't hurt our feelings as much. Like, it hurts my feelings that Jesus healed the blind man in John, even though there's numerous other instances where Jesus healed women or helped women or uplifted women. Everything's about not hurting feelings anymore.
Exactly. Well, and it's about politics. So. Which
is what hurts feelings, I guess, today. So, anyways, we found this article amusing, and it, I still want to see Mary Magdalene. I still want to see the movie.
Yeah, this won't stop us from seeing. We'll probably wait till it comes out on DVD or Blu-ray streaming.
I know. Probably wait till it comes out on one of them tapes.
Yeah, one of them VHSs.
On the tube.
But I'm still interested in seeing it. I want to see it for myself and see how they did with the film. So.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah.
And again, this doesn't diminish the fact that I think Joaquin Phoenix is a fantastic actor.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. And I hope that there can still be some light shed through this movie. I mean, you never know.
Well, my first thought is hearing stuff like this kind of goes, oh man, maybe it didn't have an impact. But my first thought when I saw Joaquin playing this part was, I hope this has an impact on him spiritually.
Yeah, exactly.
Like in a personal relationship type way with Christ, to where maybe this sheds some light. Maybe he studies the Bible in order to get some more, to get some influence on his role.
Yeah.
And what if that impacts his heart and he comes to know the Lord? Could just even
be a seed planted right now.
Seed planted, and then you hear stuff like this, and it kind of just goes, but he doesn't get it.
But the word of God doesn't go in vain either.
It doesn't go in vain.
So you never know. And then who knows, maybe there's going to be people that are going to be more open to seeing this film than they would a different biblical film. So maybe that'll even open doors for people to be like, oh, what did the actual Bible say about that? That's kind of actually an interesting character. And
I want to read that, and then they go and open up the actual Bible and read it, and then it's like, boom, their life has changed because God spoke to them through the Bible. That would be amazing.
Yeah.
And I think that we should absolutely continue and still pray for Joaquin Phoenix and the entire cast.
Mm-hmm. Exactly.
Hollywood, the world. I mean, we can keep going, but specifically for this movie, whether we see the movie or not, to just keep the movie in prayer and keep, everybody that goes and sees it in prayer, that they would come to know Christ through it, that it would spark something in them to want to go read the Bible for themselves.
Yeah.
Just pray that Joaquin Phoenix's life would be changed, and the cast and crew and everybody involved would come to know Christ, and that there would be just this awesome little revival.
Yeah, wouldn't it be so cool if there was a revival in Hollywood?
Oh,
that would be incredible.
Wonderful.
Yeah. So that's something we can pray for, and God can use anything. So you never know. Give this video a thumbs up if you guys enjoyed it. If you didn't, but let us know in the comments. Are you going to see this film? What do you think?
Have you heard of it? Because it kind of went under the radar a little bit.
For a while there. Yeah.
So let us know. Hey, we'll see you in the next episode of Nothing to Say.